Hello and welcome to ASMR Fairy Tales. I'm so glad you joined me tonight. Let's leave behind the noise of the day, slow down together, and step into a calm, magical world. Take a soft breath in and slowly out. Feel your shoulders drop, your body get heavy and warm. Tonight, I will gently tell you the story of Snow White, a story of kindness, courage, and a happy ending. Let's begin our quiet journey together, letting the stress of the day melt away as we prepare for a peaceful night. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful queen. One winter day, as snowflakes were falling gently from the sky, she sat by her window, sewing. The frame of the window was made of dark, polished wood, and the world outside was covered in soft, white snow. The queen's heart was full of hope and longing as she watched the snowflakes dance, wishing for a child to fill her life with joy and love. As the queen sewed by the window, she pricked her finger with the needle, and 3 drops of red blood fell onto the white snow outside. The contrast of the red against the pure white snow was striking. Looking at the snow, the queen whispered softly, wishing for a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony wood. Her wish was gentle and full of longing, echoing quietly in the winter air. Some time later, the queen's wish came true. She gave birth to a baby girl who was exactly as she had wished for, skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony wood. They named her Snow White. The arrival of this beautiful child brought joy and warmth to the kingdom, filling the palace with laughter and hope. But sadly, the good queen did not live long, leaving the king and Snow White alone. After the queen's passing, the king remarried. His new queen was proud and beautiful, but her heart was cold. She possessed a magic mirror and would ask it every day, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." The new queen's vanity grew with each passing day, and the palace felt colder under her rule. Years passed, and Snow White grew more and more beautiful. Her kindness and gentle spirit shone through, making her beloved by all who knew her. One day, when the queen asked her mirror the familiar question, the mirror replied, "You, my queen, are fair, it is true, but Snow White is fairer than you." The queen's heart filled with jealousy and anger, unable to bear the thought of anyone surpassing her beauty. The queen's jealousy grew stronger each day. She could not stand the idea that Snow White was now the fairest in the land. Consumed by envy, she devised a plan to rid herself of Snow White. She called a huntsman to her side and ordered him to take Snow White deep into the forest and never bring her back. The queen's heart had grown colder than ever, and her words were sharp and final. Huntsman led Snow White deep into the forest. The trees grew thick, and the path was shadowed, making the journey feel long and frightening. When it was time to harm her, the huntsman's heart softened. He could not bring himself to hurt the innocent girl. Instead, he whispered, "Run, dear child. Run far into the forest and never return." With tears in her eyes, Snow White fled into the unknown. Snow White ran, frightened, through the trees and over mossy roots. The forest was deep and mysterious, filled with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant birds. She ran until she could run no more, her heart pounding with fear and hope. At last, she came upon a small, cozy cottage nestled among the trees. The sight of the little house brought her a glimmer of comfort and safety. Inside the cottage, Snow White found 7 tiny chairs, 7 tiny plates, and 7 little beds. Everything was neat and perfectly arranged, as if waiting for someone to return. Tired from her long run, Snow White lay down on one of the beds and fell fast asleep, her worries fading as she drifted into a peaceful slumber. The cottage, with its warmth and quiet, became her sanctuary for the night. When night came, the owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs who worked all day in the mountains mining gems. As they entered their home, they found Snow White sleeping peacefully in one of their beds. The dwarfs were surprised, but also touched by the sight of the gentle girl resting in their home. They gathered quietly, careful not to wake her, and wondered who she might be. When Snow White woke, she saw the 7 dwarfs gathered around her. She told them her story, explaining how she had escaped from the queen and found their cottage in the forest. The dwarfs listened kindly, their hearts moved by her tale. They offered her a place to stay, asking only that she keep the house tidy and be careful, for her stepmother might still seek to harm her. Snow White agreed to stay with the dwarfs and keep their home tidy. She quickly became part of their little family, helping with chores and filling the cottage with laughter and warmth. The days passed peacefully, and Snow White felt safe and happy for the first time in a long while. The dwarfs cared for her deeply, and together they created a home full of kindness and joy. Back at the castle, the queen once again consulted her magic mirror. To her shock and anger, the mirror revealed that Snow White was still alive and living with the dwarfs. The queen's jealousy flared anew, and she began to plot another way to rid herself of Snow White. Her heart grew even colder as she prepared her next plan. Determined to be the fairest once more, the queen disguised herself as an old woman. She crafted a poisoned apple, its red skin shining temptingly. With her disguise complete, she set out for the dwarf's cottage, carrying the deadly fruit. Her plan was cruel and cunning, driven by her desperate desire to remain the most beautiful in the land. Arriving at the cottage, the queen, disguised as an old woman, offered Snow White a sweet, shiny apple. "Would you like a sweet apple, my dear?" she asked kindly. Trusting and gentle, Snow White accepted the gift and took a bite. Instantly, she fell to the ground, still and silent, as the poison worked its magic. The queen's plan had succeeded, and she left the cottage with a cold smile. When the dwarfs returned home, they found Snow White lying still and silent on the floor. Their hearts broke as they realized what had happened. They tried everything to wake her, but nothing worked. With great sadness, they placed her in a glass coffin in the forest, surrounded by blooming flowers. The dwarfs mourned their dear friend, keeping watch over her day and night. One day, a prince riding through the forest came upon the glass coffin. He saw the beautiful girl inside and felt a deep sorrow for her. Moved by her beauty and the sadness of the scene, he gently kissed her hand. At that very moment, the piece of poisoned apple fell from her lips, and Snow White opened her eyes, returning to life as if waking from a deep sleep. The prince rejoiced as Snow White opened her eyes. The dwarfs, too, were overjoyed to see their dear friend alive once more. The forest seemed to come alive with happiness as birds sang and flowers bloomed brighter than ever. Snow White's kindness and courage had brought her back, and everyone celebrated her return with laughter and tears of joy. The prince asked Snow White to come with him to his castle. Grateful and happy, Snow White agreed. Together, they traveled through the forest, leaving behind the little cottage and the dwarfs who had cared for her. The journey was filled with hope and excitement as Snow White looked forward to a new chapter in her life. Soon, there was a beautiful wedding at the prince's castle. The halls were filled with music, laughter, and the scent of fresh flowers. Snow White wore a lovely gown, and the prince stood proudly by her side. The dwarfs attended as honored guests, celebrating the happiness of their dear friend. The kingdom rejoiced, and love filled every corner of the castle. As for the queen, her magic mirror no longer called her the fairest. Her beauty faded, and she was left alone with her jealousy. The kingdom no longer feared her, and peace returned to the land. Snow White's kindness and courage had triumphed, and the queen's reign of envy was finally over. Snow White lived happily ever after, surrounded by kindness and love. The prince and Snow White ruled the kingdom with gentle hearts, always remembering the lessons of courage and compassion. The dwarfs visited often, and the castle was always filled with laughter and joy. The story of Snow White became a legend, inspiring all who heard it. As our story comes to an end, the forest is quiet under the moonlight. Snow White is safe, the dwarfs are resting, and peace fills the land. The gentle sounds of the night soothe your mind, inviting you to relax and let go of any worries. Here, with ASMR Fairy Tales, you are safe and calm, ready for a deep, restful sleep. With the story complete, let yourself sink into comfort. Feel the gentle embrace of the night, the softness of your pillow, and the warmth of your blanket. The soothing words and gentle sounds of ASMR Fairy Tales are here to help you unwind, bringing a sense of peace and safety as you drift toward sleep. Close your eyes and take a soft, slow breath in and out. Let your body relax, your mind quiet, and your thoughts drift away like clouds in the night sky. Each gentle breath brings you closer to a peaceful, restful sleep, surrounded by the magic of fairy tales and the comfort of ASMR. Let go of any worries or stress from the day. Imagine them floating away, leaving you lighter and more at ease. The gentle story of Snow White lingers in your mind, bringing comfort and calm. You are safe here, surrounded by kindness and warmth, ready to welcome sleep. As you listen to the quiet ending of our tale, allow yourself to drift closer to sleep. The gentle rhythm of the story, the soft sounds of the night, and the peaceful images in your mind all help you relax. You are wrapped in a blanket of calm, ready to rest deeply and peacefully. Feel the safety and comfort of this moment. The world outside is quiet, and you are protected by the gentle magic of fairy tales. Let your body grow heavier, your breathing slower, and your thoughts softer. You are safe, cherished, and ready for a night of sweet dreams. With each breath, you sink deeper into relaxation. The story of Snow White lingers softly in your mind, bringing a sense of wonder and peace. Sweet dreams are waiting for you, filled with gentle adventures and magical places. Let yourself drift, knowing you are cared for and loved. Snow White's story reminds us of the power of kindness and courage. Even in the face of jealousy and danger, her gentle heart and brave spirit helped her find happiness. Let this lesson stay with you as you rest, knowing that kindness can bring light even to the darkest moments. Fairy tales have a special magic that comforts and inspires us. They remind us that even when things seem difficult, hope and goodness can lead to happy endings. As you rest, let the gentle magic of this story fill your dreams with wonder and peace. As our time together comes to close, know that you are always welcome here. ASMR Fairy Tales will be here whenever you need comfort, calm, or a gentle story to help you sleep. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with peace and happiness. Imagine the quiet forest under the moonlight, where Snow White and the dwarfs rest peacefully. The trees sway gently in the night breeze, and the stars twinkle above. This calm, magical place is yours to visit in your dreams, a sanctuary of peace and safety. The 7 dwarfs showed Snow White true kindness and friendship. Their gentle care and warm hearts helped her find safety and happiness. Let their example remind you that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference in someone's life. The Queen's magic mirror was a symbol of vanity and envy. It reflected not just beauty, but also the desires and fears of those who gazed into it. In the end, true beauty came from Snow White's gentle spirit, not from the mirror's words. Though Snow White suffered because of the queen's jealousy, she never let anger fill her heart. Her gentle spirit and forgiving nature helped her find happiness in the end. Forgiveness can be a powerful force, bringing peace to ourselves and those around us. The story of Snow White is filled with beautiful images of nature: snowy forests, blooming flowers, and gentle streams. Nature's calm and beauty offer comfort and peace, just as they did for Snow White in her time of need. Let the beauty of nature fill your dreams tonight. The dwarf's cottage was a safe haven for Snow White, a place where she could rest and heal. We all need safe places in our lives where we can be ourselves and find comfort. Let your bed tonight be your own safe haven, filled with warmth and peace. Sleep is a precious gift, bringing rest and renewal to our bodies and minds. As you listen to this gentle story, let yourself drift into a deep, restful sleep. May your dreams be sweet and your heart light, ready for a new day when you awake. Every story must come to an end, but its lessons and magic stay with us. As Snow White's tale closes, let the feelings of peace, hope, and kindness linger in your heart. You are safe, you are loved, and you are ready for a night of gentle dreams. The world is quiet now, and the gentle calm of night surrounds you. Let the soft darkness and the memory of our fairy tale bring you comfort. You are wrapped in safety, ready to let go and rest deeply. Good night and sweet dreams. Thank you for joining me for this gentle journey through the story of Snow White. May the peace and magic of fairy tales stay with you as you sleep. Remember, you are always welcome here, where stories and dreams meet under the stars. Close your eyes, breathe softly, and let your thoughts float away. The gentle rhythm of the story, the calm of the night, and the warmth of your bed all help you find restful sleep. Sweet dreams, and may you wake refreshed and happy. Good night, sleep peacefully, sweet dreams. Let the story of Snow White and the gentle magic of ASMR fairy tales guide you into a night of deep rest. You are safe, you are loved, and you are ready for a new day. Until next time, rest well and dream sweetly.